playing the Swiss Army knife over there in the solo lane, allowing Aror to do what he wants. Picks and bans for game number 2. Titans on the clock at first, still banning out that Chronos away from Emil.
That's a smart decision, just because it's not just the Chronos for emilitoo, although, of course, emilitoo is going to favor it, but Best could also potentially take that into the mid lane.
The Rama and the Osiris will be banned by the Manticores. They figured this one out. They were like, all right, look, the Odin and the Osiris are really troublesome for the Titans to deal with. Now that they have first pick, they might just take the Osiris away, since they have to ban out both Chronos and the Odin. So Manticores opt to ban it themselves. Titan on the clock here, looking for their first pick.
Chulainn is still on the table. Not sure if Dimi is going to want to offer it again, but it does appear to be that way. However, Wubbn does also like to dabble in these aggressive kind of supports that can be a little bit more flexible, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's a flex pick.
Terra and the Zots will be the selection for the Manticores, taking the bat of choice away from Mask, so we'll see where Titans wind up with their jungler. And again, I'm with you. I would like to see the jungle pick come a little bit later and see if they can go Nemesis, but at the same time, Manticores, if they do select a very aggressive composition or a very tanky composition, likely to ban out the Nem themselves.
And this already, I'm loving this draft from Titans. The Soul, the Ganesha, and the Chulainn. They've got a little bit of burst and a lot of frontline already. Yeah. The Ganesha especially, I think, can be super effective against the Terra.
Yeah, he's going to be effective against the Terra for sure, but also just he's going to be able to protect his team, I think, a little bit better than the Geb was able to. 50 protections with that I'm always going to say it like that, by the way. And then the Soul, going to fix that problem about penetrating the backline. The ultimate all the way through the team fights, not going to be an issue this time around for the Titans.
The Dharmic Pillars as well are going to be so much more efficient than that Geb Cataclysm was, as far as slowing down the pacing of a team fight when you have a giant square area just pretty much made impossible to maneuver through. And that's pretty much what Manticores were looking for every single time last game. It was just gas pedal immediately with the sprint, just trying to pretty much dash through everything. But you don't want to cross over those Dharmic Pillars. That damage is pretty heavy.
And perhaps more important than the damage, the slow. If you're that slowed, Titans are just going to be able to capitalize off of that as well. Thoth guy one more time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The best sticks to the bird, man. Manticores on the clock as far as their bans are concerned. Emil contributing to the conversation, typing in a little bit of what he wants to see banned out. And they'll hit their bank time real quick. What do you expect here?
There could still be possibility for a Freya if neither side decides to ban it. I do think that these teams might be trying to hold off from that sort of selection just because of other reasons. And I love the mentality here for the Manticores, though, banning out these junglers.
Yeah.
That's really just trying to take shots at Mask Godpool right now.
Mask, it's not that Mask has a small Godpool. It's that Mask was the most for my money, Mask was the most effective player for the Titans in game number 1. So by taking away his most powerful picks, as he struggles to grab a drink of water there, Camazotz, Nemesis, and Naja, certainly his 3 go-tos. What's his 4th?
Well, I mean, he could possibly play Thor. I think really the reasoning behind the Nemesis and the Naja being eliminated, Manticores want to potentially get another frontlining warrior. You won't have to worry about a Nemesis taking away all your health and engagements. And for the Naja, it's going to just give Best a little bit more wiggle room because Mask won't have the same sort of chase down potential.
Naja, of course, known for his ultimate that takes the player out of the game for a couple of seconds. More important here about the Naja, I think, is the ring bounce. Tossing that ring, again, the slow, just like Ganesh, slowing everybody down in that team fight. If you're able to control what Manticores are doing in that team fight, you might be able to control the game a little bit better. Manticores getting low on their time here, starting to think about that 4th selection. And they're finally going to go again with the Ullr.
I mean, you said it yourself. If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's kind of the same concept here for the Manticores. emilitoo had a really strong showing on that Ullr. He does still have a decent bit of team peeling between the Terra, the Thoth stun, even the Camazotz slow, and Camazotz being able to maneuver so quickly through a backline that emilitoo just wants a god that he can try and burn with.
Ram and the Erlang Shen. We've seen Mask play the jungle Erlang before. Although Chulainn, can he jungle?
I would like to see the Erlang Shen in the jungle. And Erlang Shen with a soul that's a lot of clear early on. It's also a ton of damage early on.
It's also very tanky as well, which is a big deal, which is why I like the Serqet selection. Don't forget, percent health with that passive, certainly going to be a big deal coming out from the Serqet here. Manticores, Titans. What do you think about this draft? Who, on paper, who's taking it?
Manticores have a lot of early game pressure as far as the soul lane is concerned. Camazotz does a hell of a job clearing out that soul lane pretty early on. The Serqet and Thoth, however, might struggle a little bit, whether it's Soul Chulainn or Soul Erlang Shen.
Yeah, it should be very interesting here. I think we're going to see the Erlang Shen in the jungle. I think that's probably the better choice here for Titans, for Mask, and for this matchup in general. Dimi likely to replay his time on Chulainn. Getting that one right this time. We'll see if Titans can get this one right as we head into game number 2. Manticores looking for their second victory and passing them their way into the finals. Titans trying to stop that right about now.
This is a not necessarily do or die, but, it kind of is. Nobody wants to already have their run for today ended in the first semifinals, so I am hoping to see a little bit more bite-back potential from the Titans here. I'm loving this draft significantly more than their previous one.
Yeah, I think Mask is going to be able to survive a little bit longer, even while he's chasing down TheBest with the Erlang Shen. Ataraxia, from a distance, will also be able to provide some more damage to that backline. I think the entire problem, I think one of the biggest problems that Titans had in Game 1, Taco, was the lack of ability to really find damage onto the backline. What's going on here?
Having some fun in the mid lane. It's always a party somewhere on the map at the early game stages. Everybody's kind of just looking to see if they can get any extra poke out, and they were able to find it. It was just onto Ataraxia.
Just interesting starts here. A couple of players wind up in the mid lane, and then everybody has to sort of respond in kind. Mask and Dimi here. Different sides of the map. And CaptainTwig going to start in the jungle this time, not going for the wave at first.
And Kiki's doing the exact same thing. CaptainTwig is clearing out the enemy speed buff and their blue buff, and Kiki securing his own.
That's something that we sort of just glossed over. So last game number 1, Manticores went 3 very tanky characters, 2 Guardians, and then one of the tankiest warriors in the jungle. Now, quite the opposite. You're seeing 2 Assassins on the right side of the map, and only 1 Guardian. emilitoo goes for the stun, but misses it. More importantly, I think Ataraxia dodged it. If he gets hit by that axe, it's a big, troublesome situation.
And it's just another one of those lane matchups where you kind of anticipate the Ullr to have the early game laning phase, because that's what he is. He's a lane bully. Sure, he uses a ton of mana to do it, but it's still quite effective most of the time. And for a hunter like Ram, you're kind of just trying to bide out until the mid-late game stride.
2 Assassins in some trouble here. CaptainTwig going to be the target of Titan's ire, but unable to really dive into the minions this early on. Both Camazotz and the Serqet should be fine. Different story for Wubbn as Aror and emilitoo make themselves known one more time. First blood to Manticores.
That's rough all around for Ataraxia. Again, he's just going to have to play on the back foot against emilitoo. And it's rather unfortunate whenever that 400 gold bounty heads the way of the enemy hunter.
Yeah, tough stuff coming out here, but certainly not the end of the game. The biggest change here that I highlighted, the lack of tanky characters in the Assassins. How is this going to affect the game for the Manticores?
Manticores really just can't afford to drop a kill. Whenever they commit to a target, they need to be very clear with their shot calling, because there is no room for hesitation with a draft like this. This is an all-in or all-out scenario.
So if we don't see these kills rack up by the early to mid-game, it could just be the Titans walk away with it just by way of picks.
Yes, potentially. I mean, when you have a front-lining possibilities against a non-front-lining aspect, sure, you've got the proper gods to try and deal with it, such as Camazotz and a Serqet, but it could still just be incredibly difficult to consistently chip away once the defense starts coming online for a Chulainn, for an Erlang Shen, and even the Ganesha.
Get used to seeing these type of selections as well. Kiki is one of the original oddball solo laners, going all the the way back in the history of the SPL. And Camazotz, now this isn't the first time we've seen the Camazotz solo, and it makes a lot of sense. CaptainTwig barely escaping with his life as PrettyPriMe throws out the ultimate. Aror in some trouble, finds the clap, but not the stun. And just finishing up my thought when it comes to KiKi on the Camazotz, it makes a lot of sense that he's going to be in the solo lane. Tons of sustain, but a little bit off the meta. That's what you're going to expect from KiKi.
I mean, that's pretty much KiKi's staple. That is legitimately how he built a name for himself initially in the Pro League, was why is this guy picking Arachne solo and dominating every single time?
Yeah, just consistently. Look at that right there. Big play from Wubbn. Aror drops down the obelisk, but unable to dash through because of Wubbn's silence. Mask, unfortunately, still goes down as CaptainTwig puts the Serqet to the limit.
And that's just an unfortunate scenario to be in. Dimi trying to help defend that speed buff is going to buy a little bit of time, but KiKi's making the rotation. 4 members of Manticore surrounding Titans.
CaptainTwig barely gets out with the zigzag. He'll be safe and sound on the solo side. Can the same be said for his teammates as Dimi finds the transformation? Knockups, on dash, on kill. PrettyPriMe takes down Aror. It's another answer back. Titans on the board this time around. What an escape from CaptainTwig.
Talk about a shot from the hip by PrettyPriMe as well. I mean, in most scenarios, I think that could have been a potential escape from Aror because of that dash from the Chulainn. And granted, Dimi didn't have that in mind. He's just looking to deal the damage and get a slight stun or just a little bit of CC off onto Aror. And so excellent follow-up by PrettyPriMe to be right on the mark.
That one, again, you know, I really want to give the credit where it's due because the supports kind of get lost in the dust sometimes. Manticores right there get a double kill on Wubbn and the player that died, as well as the invade, if Wubbn doesn't stop that dash from Aror. If both players get rooted, it's a bad situation. Instead, they trade out 1 for 1. I like that look. PrettyPriMe, however, making it happen one more time. CaptainTwig goes down again with the support from the Elephant Man.
Not able to slide out this time with legitimately 1 HP, but really well executed by Wubbn again. The Dharmic Pillars just to ensure that the slow is tapped onto CaptainTwig and peeling for PrettyPriMe. That is the more important part, was the peel for PrettyPriMe, because Twig did expend his ultimate trying to lock down the soul, just able to avoid it because he couldn't follow up with more damage.
That's the key here, is that Manticore or Titans adjusted. They said, look, you know, last time, sure, composition, but look at the players on this team. We are going to get initiated on 9 times out of 10. That's an aggro-heavy team. So the Titans go with Wubbn on Ganesha, a more peel-centric character, and already it's paying off. But still, the gold separating these teams, 1,500 or so.
Manticores certainly getting a slightly better trade as far as farming is concerned. That's partially due to the fact that Twig had so many buff invades early on top of Fire Elemental Control and the First Blood Bounty from emilitoo in that duo lane. But Titans in the previous game were looking a little bit more behind as far as experience was concerned.
Right.
And right now, they're all pretty much on par. They're relatively close. It's not a drastic enough experience disparity from any of the members on the Titans to where they can't help their team in a team fight.
Yeah, and that's really all you're looking for right now. The level 6 to level 7 of the Guardians, frankly, I just don't care. Like, it's not that big of a difference enough for me to worry about. When you talk about level 12 and the second relic comes on, now that's a different story. Wubbn brought down about half HP due to some nice poke coming out from Manticores, and that'll secure them the right side mid Harpies. Left side, red buff being invaded on emilitoo now in bad territory. 3 players from the enemy team surrounding him while his team's busy in the mid lane. emilitoo jumps forward, looking for PrettyPriMe, joins the party. CaptainTwig takes down Pretty, but Dimi takes care of stuff on the right side as KiKi bites back and takes down Dimi. Ataraxia not going to be left out, takes down the jungler, and Mass trying to find an exit on the right side.
Oof.
The best right in the brain of Wubbn.
That's just one of those moments you can tell Wubbn's waiting for the ult, trying to anticipate which direction to juke it. But when it comes to the best, it's one thing that he actually does best is those long-range snipes.
Yeah, he's going to find you. I mean, that was snipe? Well, like a shotgun. That mid-range.
There's still technically a snipe. I think that Thoth is still a bit of a snipe, especially in that kind of aspect without the hard setup.
I'll give you that. It's kind of like when you're playing with a shotgun with a red dot sight. Like, why are you doing that? But he finds the shot anyway, and down goes the mid laner. 4-5 read the kills. Manticores edging themselves out one more time.
And all around, pretty strong team fight from Titans as well, considering that last game they tried to take up a fight like that. I think they're wiping every single time. This time, with the draft that they pulled up for themselves, it's a much better scenario all around. They're actually able to pretty much fight back.
Yeah. Trouble with the... I'm going to say headset. I'm just going to guess. I actually have no information, but, you know, we like to keep it simple here. So something going on with the players right now. Brief pause here in game number 2. Yeah, this is exciting because I like to see, I like to see two very different styles come out. As we said, with the mid-season patch, the game has changed completely. And we see the Manticores win game number 1, all tank, all day. And the game number 2, well, we're going to have a solo assassin, and we're still kind of winning.
I was actually keeping my eye on that solo lane fight between Kiki and Dimi while the mid fight was breaking out as well. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't capture both at the same time, of course, but it was just such a brawl between those two where you just saw Dimi essentially push Kiki right to the T1 tower line, and Kiki had already used his ultimate, and so I believe it was actually archers that ended up cleaning Dimi up because... he was actually both like left at 1 HP, but yeah. he did come out on top essentially against the Camazotz. But it's interesting how a more assassin-oriented god can just tank that much damage.
And he's going to be able to tank it a little bit more. You see the Mark of the Vanguard pointed out by our observer right there. Very important. It's a nice little bridge item, and we used to see this very, very frequently. But then, I guess kind of things changed. Gladiator Shield being picked up a little bit more often. The Oracles and the Vision go to the left side. Wubbn with the aggressive dash, doesn't get punished. And then another curious choice coming out from Mask with the speed boots. Dimi taking the fight. Turning around, there's going to be the dash forward. The miss out of Kiki. A very important miss for Dimi.
King Kiki would have certainly committed there had he been able to launch that ability and connect with Dimi.
So right now, almost at the time where Fire Giant will rear his not so ugly head. He's kind of cutie. He'll be showing up in about 10 minutes. Manticores, however, don't exactly have the same... well, do they? Do they have the objective secure this time around?
They still have very solid objective secure because PrettyPriMe does have a soul ultimate for objective secure. It's not as effective as a Thoth, so to say, but it can certainly still do the job as needed.
Well, there he is, showing up. I love that animation. We very rarely get to see it. He's busting through the chains. emilitoo busting through the lanes, looking for Ataraxia. Nice beads to avoid the stun. That's going to make emilitoo walk the other direction. I love the choice to jump into that lane, knowing that while he attacks with the bladed arrow, the minions are going to go down as well.
It was really just having that creep wave to his advantage. The only reason why we see emilitoo going in there, and now emilitoo's trying to make the decision of, is that Gold Fury happening or what's going on? Ataraxia making the rotation. He had no idea. Titans with the Gold Fury secure.
Great play right there. You brought up the soul before. I'm going to bring up again the Ganesha pick. Every 0.5 seconds that Dharmic Pillar is going to be able to deal damage. So there is a little bit of a limitation on it, but it's still going to bring a lot of damage when it comes to the objective. You tank the Gold Fury right there on the ley line, and zap, 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 zap. It's going to go down.
Mask is going to lose his speed buff for that trade, however. Manticore is just putting so much pressure onto these speed and blue buffs really for the Titans. They're not really trying to let up in the slightest.
Very important Gold Fury though. 1,500 gold lead at 11 minutes. That's the beginning of something to talk about, right? That's really the start of something that you would call a lead. 800, 700, you cut that in half by a Gold Fury. Again, tie game, nice to look at. You do have to look at the other side of the graph, however. That experience, is that something to be concerned about just yet?
Not just yet. It is still pretty impactful considering that Manticores are, again, running such a burst-heavy composition. So they want as much XP early on to commit to the kills that they know are going to really come in handy later. Because the longer that they keep Titans on the back foot, the more time that it means that they won't have to expend burning up to the late game.
And for me, this right now is where it matters the most. And I think that's why we saw, well, maybe not. We're getting a little bit too deep here as CaptainTwig gets aggressed on. Wubbn control. CaptainTwig still staying aggressive despite the fact that he's low as hell. And Ataraxia puts him down to 0. Great aggressive play. The audacity, the craziness on that guy.
That was a beautiful snipe by Ataraxia on the Rama ultimate. Twig almost got out for free again. But on top of that, beautifully played by Twig, catching both Wubbn and PrettyPriMe with that taunt to just stack them up for his 1.
Is that worth it, though, trading the jungler life out for the mid lane?
I would say so, considering that it's PrettyPriMe on a godlike soul.
Sure.
Because this is what it opens up.
There you go. Kiki and Aror going to look for the portal demon. And down it'll go. Chulainn going to get there a little bit too late. As Dimi showed up a little bit too short. Left side, Hunter duel down to the tower. Araxia's age is going to run out soon. But emilitoo knows he can't tank the tower for too long. Ever aggressive Emil. Meanwhile, PrettyPriMe behind that tower disapparates away to safety.
PrettyPriMe cannot wait to hit level 12 and finally get his purification beads online. Although Best still looking to make a difference, but he might have gotten a little bit too deep. He's going to have to use the Terra's blessing to try and get him out, but the shell might buy him enough time.
What a big knockup. Knocks the Best out of the ultimate. So he's not able to use it just there. Dimi shows up as well. Spear to the brain. The Best sit down.
Got a little bit too hungry there, looking to chase down PrettyPriMe in that mid lane. That just goes to show what they're willing to expend for a lockdown kill onto Prime.
I liked the aggression coming out from Manticores because they knew they had the relic advantage. It was level 12 to level 11s. CaptainTwig, however, staying aggressive. Knocked up once, knocked up twice, down to half HP. PrettyPriMe on the left side being chased out. Kiki takes to the sky, but he's not doing anything. One shot onto Dimi and the other 2 shots wasted as Thorns gets popped out by the Warrior. Dimi now trying to not zone, simply catch up for the rest of his team to show up and do the dirty work. Aror goes down to the hand of Dimi, who starts and ends the fight.
But emilitoo's made the rotation, and now he's looking for Prime or just CC onto anybody. Prime, so low on both health and mana. He's got to be careful with his back here.
Much better play this time around for the Titans, despite the fact Mask falling down there a little over aggressive. Emil makes the rotation, allowing Ataraxia left side to get the tier 1 tower.
If that speed buff hadn't been up, Mask would have lived there every single time. Titans would have just fallen back immediately, but the greed for the speed, it catches every jungler.
It's just there in the it's in the jungle mentality. I mean, even just every player, whether you're new or old, you get that speed buff and you go, hey man, I gotta go fast. I like going fast. I like being aggressive. Speaking of aggressive, CaptainTwig. So you mentioned before that if you're playing these assassins, you gotta use the tool. You gotta always go for these kills. A dropped kill can mean the end of the game. Dimi right now seeing the pain from the bat. Is CaptainTwig being over aggressive, or is his level of aggression exactly what you need in this composition?
His level of aggression is exactly what you need, because he opted for the blink first active. He didn't even care at all about building bees or an Aegis, wasn't concerned about getting hard CC'd, even though there was a Ganesha and Erlang available for Titans. It's just, he wants to go in and establish a lead early on.
CaptainTwig hiding around the bush. Mask doesn't see him, but the taunt's gonna miss. Now, CaptainTwig's known to be here. Captain was looking for the blink over the wall when the call was made that Mask was coming. He was looking for the jungle intercept. Both foiled out by good communication from the Titans. Kiki keeping Dimi under his tier 2 tower, just forcing him to stay back in lane. You can see, look at Dimi's face too. That's what I love the most about our player cams during LAN. Dimi's like, come on, bro. Like, really? He's like smiling a little bit. Here's going to be another gold for your attempt, this time by the Manticores, but Wubbn knows all about it.
But can Wubbn do anything about it is the better question. It is going to be CaptainTwig with the effective zoning onto Wubbn, and Manticore is actually able to slide away with that Gold Fury.
Here's going to be trouble for Kiki as he makes the late rotation. Manticores are going to want to fight into this. Let's listen to them as they look for the counter engage.
Get out now.
Just get buffed.
They're going in. I shelled you.
They used a lot of shit there.
Go to
Dashing
tower.
out.
I have no mana. Go to tower.
Yeah, get out.
They got pinned. I'm fine.
You're good.
We might have to give this
Are they
up.
pushing mid?
Yeah, they're pushing. We can give tier 1 up if we need to. I'm gonna back. I have switch one. Just give this up. Give it up.
Give it up.
Don't ever fire.
I have
can
Swift
heal
Wing
off
out of
the next
base.
They're
mid
not
wave.
that strong.
Give in Heavenly.
They're going left
Left.
jungle anyway. I'm gonna have a look at them. There's a ward here. They're
I think we
looking
can
for
fight
speed and
now.
shit.
I'm healing off this mid wave.
I'm
Look-
on my
look for
way.
poke and shit.
Fight them if they stay. Fight them if they
I'm
stay.
gonna go on them
We
if
just
they...
both back. We're really strong right now.
Oh, they're
Coming
waiting
over
here.
now.
They're waiting here. There's four. There's like four.
It's Ganesh
Soul
Island.
cut me
I'm
off.
gonna look for them here.
I'm stunning. Let's
That's
their bees.
rum beads.
I'm gonna Heavenly you. I'll Heavenly you.
I got them all.
I rooted all.
Ganesh ulted. Ganesh ulted. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Goodness is
Job.
dead. Soul's out of this fight right now.
I have sprint if you want to fight this.
I'm
You
here,
can
yeah.
go.
I think you
let's
can
go. Let's
easily
go. Let's go.
Ataraxia's really
I'm
low.
gonna stun Dimi. Dimi stun. Dimi
Stun
stun.
again, stun again.
Nice
Nice.
job.
Good shit.
Okay, maybe
This
get a
speeds
stun.
up.
Yeah.
No chase. I'm
Do
taking
speed.
space.
Do speed.
Soul's
Do
in
speed.
middle.
Left tower. Speed the left tower.
Okay.
Can I take this?
Yeah, you take it.
You need meat. I'm gonna get this mid wave.
Push mid and we push left.
What a great illustration, you know, from to the layman's eyes, or just looking from a distance. It's easy to see that, it's easy to say that Manticores are just all in all the time. And even there, I introduced the listening going, they're definitely going to look for the counter engage, because that's what they've been doing all game. That was the one time they looked for the retreat, but you could hear CaptainTwig just like, I'm ready to go at any point. Whatever they do, guys, I'm going to look for it.
It was the Titans choosing to stay and flirting with the idea of Portal Demon that ensured Manticores that they had the bite back potential. And now it's going to be the Portal Demon actually going the way of the Manticores. Attempted steal from Titans, just unable to find the secure.
One of the things that I want to point out about the comms was, one, how clean they were. That's kind of what you're not expecting out of when you mix and match a team like that. Clean comms, I mean, you've played at a level where you're looking at scrims and stuff. Clean comms is something that happens over time.
That's kind of expected, though, just only because of the members of that team. These are probably some of the most relaxed and basically focused members that you could find from the SPL. Kiki is notorious for having very clean comms. Same could be said for Best, because Best is kind of just one of those, he will follow it the entire way. You saw how far back he was playing that entire match.
Yeah.
Even when his team was sprinting forward, he missed it just a little bit because he's watching his positioning. That's what Best does. It's mostly coming down to Aror and Twig there, and that's all that you really want to be happening in comms. You want to hear from your jungle and your support because they are the ones driving the fights.
Exactly. This tier 1 tower seems to be going down no problem. CaptainTwig and Aurora are the ones looking for the initiation. Kiki just says, hey, I'm not there yet, so mentions why. Dimi is certainly here, and with that ultimate out of the Serqet, he's going to go down without much of a fight. Kiki gets credit for the kill. Mask in trouble, half HP is Aurora, and Best from a distance cancels the ultimate. Gonna save it for later. Jumping forward is Twig. Finds the crowd control on Mask. Still, not enough damage to bring down the tanky jungler. Emil from a distance, not good enough. Looking for the up close. Silenced out by Wubbn. No bladed arrow for the kill. It's Kiki here on the backside that takes down the Hunter.
And there's definitely not done just yet. Manticore still pushing in. CaptainTwig able to find PrettyPriMe. Wubbn, one of the only members left standing for his team right now, forced into his fountain. Can he even, he's not even gonna get out.
All the way home.
Oh, he does.
Blink forward from Mask, looking to punish this Serqet, rightfully so. Great punish play by Mask. Even if that's one of those plays that you have to make, even if it doesn't accomplish, you know, the goal of protecting your tier 2. That's, don't hit my teammate like that. Don't come into my Titan room like that. Who are you, CaptainTwig?
I really thought that Wubbn was done for there, but the taunt from Twig, I believe, was still on cooldown, which is the only reason why Wubbn was able to survive. Twig didn't have enough time to look for another auto attack following up the tick of his dash that did connect. So Mask really, and you could tell he was purely ready to punish Twig for that one, considering he didn't even fully heal from the fountain. He immediately left the fountain, still missing about a fourth of his health.
Yeah.
Just ready to lock him down.
Like I said, that's a how dare you kill. You don't come into my Titan while y'all are on the tier 2 tower and go from the kill on my guy. That's not going to happen, Serqet. CaptainTwig sits down. Nice play from Mask. Aurora stuck in between everybody in a Titan jersey. Ataraxia with the last hit. Now it's Kiki in trouble, but he takes to the sky, and the turnaround. Best and the Bat combining for big baby damage. The Best shows up for the peel, gets the stun onto Wubbn. Raxia from the sky, not going to be enough.
That is the second time that Best has made a massive final judgment. Kiki not looking to slow down, but it's Ataraxia punishing him for
Zig,
overstaying. CaptainTwig? Really?
1 move, 2 kills. The zigzag good enough. Now hits the ultimate onto Dimi. Best is low. Emil's low. Dimi is lower. running around in circles, knowing that he's dead. And that's going to be CaptainTwig again. 7th kill for the hunter out of England, for the jungler out of England, excuse me. One of the few roles CaptainTwig hasn't played professionally.
One of the few.
He's played. He's
probably
played
could.
Yeah, he probably could. He's played mid and jungle. I think he played a couple of games, maybe 1 or 2 out of the solo lane even. But he hasn't seen much play in that duo lane. But one of CaptainTwig's, I think, what makes him so potent is his vast understanding of every character. We always mention his past as a very, very high duel player. So he knows the ins and outs of the whole eclectic god pool.
The worst part really for Titans is that these engagements shouldn't even really be going that horribly for them. It's just they're getting connected with the burst damage from Manticores.
Yeah.
In that corridor, Best hits 3 members of Titans with a final judgment, immediately all 30% health, and that is basically field day for a Serqet and a Camazotz.
Yeah, and it was funny because, or what I liked about it is how quickly these guys changed their mind. It's like, oh, okay, all right, we're retreating. Oh, we hit him, turn around, go for it. That's exactly what you saw. Kiki takes to the sky and CaptainTwig takes to the ground, and you just hit by 2 assassins at the same damn time. Right side, Portal Demon respawning. Titans looking to, or Manticores looking to push their lead even more so. 7K up, looking for more.
And Titans really are just having an incredibly difficult time dealing with the mobility from the Manticores, because that's one thing we haven't gotten a chance to touch on too often, but it's Kiki forced into his ultimate already, trying to drive Titans back from this Portal Demon, and Best, again, just completely demolishing Dimi with damage.
I mean, he's just the mid laner that you want. Gonna hit your stuff. Nice silence by Wubbn, again, canceling out the Deathbane out of the Serqet this time around. The ultimate's still going to be strong. Nice dash coming forward from Aror to root 3 separate players in place. But the damage a little bit light this time. CaptainTwig jumping forward. Wubbn still coming in with the clutch with the silence again and again and again.
That is unfortunate, however, for Ataraxia, losing both of his actives. Emil, he's full HP, looking to still go in. And it's going to be CaptainTwig trying to tank up this middle lane Phoenix, but all of the members, or the surviving members of Titans, are just forced back to their fountain. They're too low to continue.
So we mentioned the double assassin, right? The Kiki and the CaptainTwig on the right side of the map playing assassin. Well, TheBest is a long-range assassin playing the sniper. And the way emilitoo is playing this Ullr, he's jumping in the back line. He's playing an assassin as well. I mean, it's basically just a roar that's like, I mean, I guess I'll dash and maybe I'll heal you a little bit. And everybody else is just seeing red, kill, 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 kill.
I mean, with a team like this, though, that's exactly what you want from your squad. If you're going to run a double assassin composition, you better be ready to commit. And if there's one thing that CaptainTwig and Kiki are excellent at doing, it's playing off of other people. And now they've really just been consistently playing off of each other this entire set.
The dark horse of the competition. Like we said earlier, if you asked anybody on the street, Wubbn gets himself in trouble, dashing forward, and there's the Deathbane one more time. Taken to the sky is Kiki, looking for the kill on the backside, but Ataraxia gets the kill first, taking out CaptainTwig, looking for his damage on the backside. The Rom shots, 2 out of 3 are good, and chases Manticores out of the team fight. Titans need to take this chase, Taco. This is a good fight for the blue team.
It was a good fight for the blue team, but the damage is still very real from the Manticores, and the immediate turnaround.
The group up. They all grouped up, and they got punched a hole in them like a donut. emilitoo, the baker here, and PrettyPriMe in trouble. Aror looking for the punch, and it's KiKiSoCheeky. 21-12. Manticores turn to the team fights, and the digits around. Fire Giant available. Dimi on his way, but I don't know what he can do here.
Chase is the right call there pretty much every time.
Yeah.
What wasn't the right call was stacking up Aror catching 2 members with that Terra collab, and then everybody else kind of just like, oh, 2 people CC'd, that's an immediate engage. Best just swung away, completely chunked Mask and Dimi, and the rest is kind of just history.
Fire Giant down. Manticores, 10,000 gold in the lead, plus a bright orange belt. This one's going to send the players back home to spend that gold in hand and see what they can wind up with. Honestly, nothing too crazy coming out as far as the itemization is concerned, except I do want to point out this Blood Forge from emilitoo. I think this Blood Forge sure, the hunter lifesteal is cool. You have a ton of gold, excellent. I think that Bloodforge is less about just a meta hunter build in general, and more about the way that Emil has been playing.
He's been playing so aggressive that the shield is perfect for him, especially because it also provides him with that little bit of movement speed. And with a team that already gets a ton of movement speed because of a sprint, because of a Terra's blessing, that's exactly what you want. And his own kit includes a movement speed steroid.
Yeah, the axe bang. But yeah, it's just you repeatedly see him diving these towers, diving the Phoenix, jumping to the back line. He needs that extra little bit of shield. So I think that the Bloodforge, excuse me, whether or not it's part of a hunter build, I don't know. Whether it's a part of this play style right now, absolutely yes. Ataraxia being dove by the Batman. Kiki just separating himself away from the rest of the squad to look for the tower. Mass coming in from the right side. Manticores looking for the fight. Let's listen to them as they take on the Titans.
Dimi, I'm on Dimi.
Run beat.
They're all here, by the
Soul
way.
beads, let's chill.
Oh my god. Rama roll down.
Erlang in the back, Erlang in the back.
This is going Erlang.
Yeah, I'm slowing him. Erlang.
There's 3's on right.
I'm slowing Dimi.
I'm on Erlang. Nice job. We could get this. It's
Whoops,
just
I
a wreck.
dashed in.
How about stun?
Nice. Holy shit.
Speed.
He's slowed.
This
He's
is
slowed.
Aegis.
Hey guys.
Nice job. Careful, one of you stinking.
Yeah, I'm fine. Got Urchin. Next.
I'm tanking this now. Just end it. I can tank the thing.
Alright.
Souls at 15, so... Actually,
Yeah,
Hit the wave, hit this wave here.
Okay.
Let's end it.
Oh yeah, we can end it. Yeah.
Alright, let me tank.
Alright.
Thank you.
That was just a treat to listen to. Confidence in their abilities. You can see, and again, talking about TheBest being one of the quiet guys, just laughed and then went, oh my god, when he got blown up by Mask. And then Kiki, oh my god, when Emil hit that seemingly incredible stun on Ataraxia, allowing the Phoenix to go down and then allowing them to take down the Titan. The Manticores take down Titan, the team, and Titan, the objective, finding themselves in the finals.
MVP for me, though, by far, was Kiki's giggle when Best completely one-shot PrettyPriMe.
Oh, yeah.
It was just that giggle and that moment of clarity where you realize what just happened.
And you know what? Fine, I'm gonna go with Kiki as well. The oh my god, when Emil hits that axe stun, like I mean that was max range. Ataraxia zigzagging around. That is an impressive axe stun. So shout outs to Kiki right there. Shout outs to the whole team. This has been such a fun, exciting event because everybody really stood out on that squad.
That squad was just so coordinated, and that is again just something that really just comes from these players' experiences, as well as just they all are pretty talented.
Yeah, CaptainTwig certainly leading the charge on that Serqet in game number 2, the Osiris in game number 1, looking very, very strong here. And again, this is him just taking down Mask.
And all around, Twig on top of everything, the aggro just did not stop, and that's all that they needed. They needed a member that could immediately capitalize off of the little openings.
And whether they were little or big, I mean, CaptainTwig and Kiki, watching these guys, I'm almost upset that they're in different regions. Watching these two play together was so much fun. I mean, not just the double assassin, the double warrior, listening to them play off each other. Right now, Taco and I are joined by Aror, the captain for this team. I'll start off talking about those two guys. Kiki and Twig, not two guys you've ever gotten to see play together. How did that really work out?
Yeah, it worked out really well. They had really, really good synergy. I think the games yesterday really helped us out, just practicing together and stuff. And I think that was the first time they ever played together. So it's really cool that they did really well.
We listened in twice to your guys' comms.
Yeah.
And calm is the homophone absolutely to use. You guys were just poised, controlled, control. It almost sounded better than some of the Pro League teams have been playing for years. Taco brought up that it takes a while to sort of bring that, get that synergy. Was it really just a couple of mini games last night?
Well, I mean, the only person that I haven't really played with on this team was Twig. Like, I've played with ML so much. I've played with Kiki and Best. They're both really close friends, and they're also really, really good players. And I've known ML since, like, 2013. We've been trolling NA ranked forever. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I have really good synergy with him as well. The only guy that I didn't know if I'd have good synergy with is Twig. And, I mean, he played awesome, and he just made everything easy. So it worked out really well.
That was very evident in your guys' shot calling especially, but your mindset in that second game, what made you guys lean towards that double assassin?
I don't know. It was just picks we talked about last night. I didn't even realize it was double assassin, actually. It just happened to be double assassin. But yeah, Camazotz feels like a warrior.
Yeah, he certainly can with the way he works and the ultimate and the lifesteal and the whole 9 yards. But, you know, allowing Kiki to be Kiki is very important to the comp. And, you know, you said you didn't know how you'd work out with CaptainTwig. We got 2 games under your belt and you're heading to finals. How do you work out with CaptainTwig?
So far, so good.
He seems to fit in with that whole, I mean, we talked about you guys kind of being the more like relaxed, fun-having team, and so we'd see success yesterday. But seeing that transfer here, that's kind of exciting too.
Yeah, we came to win. I mean, we didn't come to just win the Saturday events. We all looked at Sunday for sure coming into this event. I mean, the Saturday events we wanted to win as well because we're all really competitive people. And I mean, Sunday's another thing that we want to win, and we're going to try our hardest in the finals.
So we spent a lot of time talking about your teammates. How about you in game number 1? Playing the Ares.
Yeah, I mean, I actually felt like I had a really bad play in game 1. It was when I blinked in and just died to 3 of them. That was so bad. Oh my god. I was cringing at myself after that. The only reason why I went in, I had Terra ult, so I'm like, I could probably live. I have a blink in. That was like the dumbest Ares ult I think I've ever done in my career. Even worse than me missing the Ares ult in the SPL game. So, yeah, I think other than that, I played okay. So.
Oh, just okay?
Yeah.
Just okay?
Just okay. I only did 13k damage. That's nothing as Ares.
Max Aror Jackson, captain of the Manticores. Him and his team go on into the finals. Coming up next, the 2 remaining teams. Thanks for watching the Energy Invitation. We'll be right back.